are here today with Belinda Bendon, aka the Gatekeeper. Belinda, you have been my number one employee. Don't tell the others that because otherwise they might get a little bit jelly. But Belinda, you are on my podcast today and we're going to be talking about your role here at NGR Accounting. We're going to be talking about tax returns and all the other fun stuff. But yeah, it's all about you today. So let's get into it. You ready?
Sure, let's go.
If we're not growing, you're not growing.
So Belle, thank you for joining me, and not to be so formal, and I like to do something a little bit fun, and being the first cab off the rank on these podcast series, but I want to know, so the question I'm going to ask everyone that comes on board the podcast straight up with is, when you put your shoes and socks on, in what order do you put your socks and shoes on? Is it sock, shoe, sock, shoe, sock, shoe? I know it seems like a stupid question. But
It is definitely sock, sock, shoe, shoe, and it's usually left first because I'm left-handed.
Ah, you're a lefty.
I'm a lefty.
You know what they say about lefties? They're very bright people.
Yes, I'm very organised too.
Yeah, that's one thing I can definitely say about you. You're definitely a very organised person, which is why you've been so good here at NGR Accounting and why I think so many people see the value. Well, I see the value definitely, but also a lot of our clients have seen that value in you and what you do. Yeah, it's interesting, but let's get into a few questions. The first thing I want to do is I want to announce, Belinda, you've been with us since May 2018.
I have.
And I remember when you came on board, it started with just 3 days, and then it was
more hours, and
then you
more
became
hours.
part of the furniture.
Yeah.
But I remember, and this is probably a really good lesson for anyone who's starting a business that's in that growing phase and they're doing everything. And I remember that before you came on board, we had Pierce, and he did a few days a week, and it was really in that growing stages of a business. But I think one thing was this sign of relief when you came on board, taking off me all those administration tasks. It allowed me to go and prosper on the next phase of growing the business. And I think for anyone that's in business that's looking to grow the business, it's you can't do everything. And
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to pass things over. You can't keep it all to yourself because it's never going to work. You need to delegate. And that's a huge thing that people cannot do.
what makes you think that people just... I'm probably guilty of it myself, like not
Yes,
letting
you
go
are.
of certain things.
Yes, you are.
I'm trying to get better at it, and I'm not. We're all human. But what do you think stops someone from letting go?
Control.
Yeah.
It's their business is their baby and they can't let someone else take that control from them.
Yeah, and I guess if we then think about that, when you came on board, there was that, like you build up with any employee, I guess when you employ someone, you don't know what you're going to get. Like people sometimes interview really well and they get in there and it's, oh my God, what a disaster.
Yeah, very good on paper, not so much on actions.
And sadly, even in my own business, and then even I've seen in a lot of our clients' businesses, that has happened. And I can tell you there's nothing worse than having to let someone go, but also when someone has promised that they can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it's not even there. But even culturally as well, cultures are massive.
You need to be able to get along with people because you're with them and you're working so long in the day with them, they become a second family almost.
Yeah.
And you're probably spending more time at work than you are at home, so you need to be able to learn the idiosyncrasies of everybody and be able to get along.
Yeah, it's like sometimes I think you know more about my life than my own
Yeah.
wife does. It's not as if like you're booking my dentist appointments or anything like that.
I refuse to do
I'll
that.
never give you that task. I think that's so demeaning to go, hey, can you book my dentist?
I won't pick up your dry cleaning either.
Yeah, and I've never asked you to make me a tea. Sometimes you do bring me in a cup of tea.
I do, but I'm never the tea lady. Not one client did say, "Are you the coffee girl?" And that was the last time I had ever offered anyone a cup of tea or coffee. So when you come in, you'll only get water from me.
Yeah, she's not a coffee bitch, right?
No, I don't drink it. I don't know how to make it, and I don't want to.
Look, I'm the same. I don't coffee either. Look, for me, it'd be like another expense. And I'm not going to go for the instant coffee. I'd be down there at the cafe spending $5 a pop for a coffee. And then you see some people drinking 2 or 3 of these a day. It's then you're broke by the end. It'd probably be cheaper to take up cigarettes.
No, know these days.
But yeah, culture is so important. I think that was one of the first things we talked about when I interviewed you. We were talking about culture because I had come out of a few different workplaces in the past, and there were some good aspects and some bad aspects. And culture is definitely a piece. And I know that even for you, we've talked about cultural pieces in the past where just a lot of disrespect or different things. And that's where being you as an employee or having all my employees, I understand what it was like being on the other side. And for me, like, I want to at least do my best to make sure that it's a fair playing ground for both sides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because there's nothing worse than being in a toxic work environment and spending most of your day feeling horrible, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah, no.
That's when you have a high turnaround of staff.
Yeah, and yesterday we had massage day.
Oh, massage day. Love massage.
Once a month we do massages in the office, and that was something we've been doing for quite some time now. We stopped it during COVID. I know that all the employees love massage day, but there's little things like even everyone does a Christmas party. Everyone does, not everyone, but being an accountants, we do the end of financial year party.
Yep.
But those little things, I think it's so important to look after your employees, because I've done this before, personally vouched that without like you as an employee and in your many roles from admin right to now being in your new role, which I'm going to probably announce now, being our tax preparer, doing tax returns and an accountant, and we'll talk about that in a second, but in keeping your employees, like I couldn't do it without you guys.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's just easy. That's what we're here for.
Which is great. Then they circle back to our original conversation, which is you can't do everything.
And you being the head of the pyramid, you need to be out there sourcing all the clients and bringing all the clients in and growing the business, and we're here to do the work. It's simple.
Yeah. No.
You've just got to let go. The top of the pyramid has to let go.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's no iron team, right?
No.
Okay, so let's get down to our announcement. Belinda has been in the accounting game, working with accountants for a very long time.
Yes, since I was 16.
Jokingly,
Yes.
I always say no one goes out to choose that. Well, I didn't choose to be an accountant, just happened to find myself in accounting.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't choose to go and work with accountants.
It's funny how you fall into industries, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Here
It is.
you are. I always loved business studies, but I never thought I would be an accountant. Actually, when I used to do business studies, I used to think the profit and loss and the balance sheet in that course was made up crap. And I was like, nah, this can't be a real life thing. It's like when in maths they made you do calculus and all these formulas. It's like, what are we doing with this? What's the real life application here?
Yeah.
So you go through and go, I was just like, surely this balance sheet and the profit and loss thing must be a whole lot of crap. They're just taking up our time in business studies to teach us something just to give the teachers a reason to turn up. But anyway, those reports are real. But yeah, a lifetime, really, working with
a lifetime. And I've seen changes with software going from multiple piles of manila folders on your desk to now being paperless, which I have to say is fantastic, because there's nothing worse than trying to make the weave through someone's offices between all the manila folders. There's nothing worse than that. Software, I think, has become the biggest assistance in the accounting world. I can remember one firm, they're still doing their financial accounts on Excel spreadsheets. To now, there's a lot behind the scenes, but it's just the technology that's available now is just amazing.
Yeah, it definitely has changed over the years. It just brings a whole wealth of knowledge. And I was the same. I started on the front desk. I'm pretty sure the boss I had at the time, he did say to me he wanted someone with boobs, but very different actually. Because back in 2000, some of the older guys were still in this whole different mindset of a female sits behind the desk, right?
Yeah.
So for me to sit in front of a desk probably was a big thing back then as well. And that's where I started out answering phones. And tying that together with you, you've done more than just answering phones. You started there, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you are on that front desk, the things that you learn dealing with the ATO, and it is certainly a skill that anyone who doesn't really start there don't really fully comprehend all the facets of what makes an accounting business work.
That's it.
So I think that's a big benefit for you, and has been definitely a big benefit for me. And now, having seen a lot of the other side, I guess there's different sides of the business, right? But now doing tax returns and helping clients with everything from filling in a basic tax return. And I know we don't like saying the word basic tax return because there's no such thing as that.
No, there isn't.
Not these days.
No.
But understanding as well like capital gains and understanding rental properties, knowledge you have. And I think it really ties in quite well. And I found that in the last year, Belinda, you have been doing our tax returns and you've been helping me in processing those, and I've been really just giving you that extra piece of education and guidance, and so has Catherine and Sue. And now you're at that point where the wings are ready to open up and you're ready to fly. So on that, you're going to be doing a lot more of helping clients one-on-one. And that's not to say all the work in the practice always gets a second set of eyes looked on it. Whether it's me or one of the other staff members, it's not because you don't know a particular area of what you're doing. It's just that because you're human, you might miss something.
Exactly. No one's perfect.
Yeah. But how have you found stepping up, going from, I guess we always called you the Gatekeeper, right?
Yep.
And we all have these fun play names, and we called Sue the Zero Hero, and I'm the proper generator. I can't remember, what's Catherine again?
I can't remember.
But I know she cringed when I gave it to her. But yeah, we might have to give that name to someone else now because you're not answering the phone as much.
No, March. No, Helene can take that
that
title from me and we can come up with a new title.
Absolutely. But yeah, what have you done in the last year doing tax returns, and I guess what does it mean for you stepping up into that new role?
They say knowledge is power, and I think if you don't increase your knowledge throughout your career, doesn't matter in what you're doing, I think you become stale. I felt that here at NGR Accounting we were trying to fill a role that, as we said before, people look good on paper but weren't in actual processing. And I said, why don't I do it? I've done the courses before and I've just left it, and it was just a great opportunity for me to put my hand up and say, oh, I can do this.
Yeah, so on that, there's two things I really strongly believe in, and it was Tony Robbins talked about, when I did one of his courses, he talks about basically, if you don't feed the brain, always continuously, you do become stale. So if you think about this analogy, right, if you have a pot plant and you don't water it, eventually it's going to die.
Exactly.
That's the same as humans. That's definitely very true.
Yeah, and I just can't wait to get into more.
But the funny part as well is just going back over the years, there's been plenty of times where we had a lot of clients already thinking you were doing the tax returns because you were so involved in that front end in our processes and systems that before it got to, say, for example, Sue or me, and more so Catherine and Sue in the last few years, you were so involved that they thought you were already doing it.
Because I had the years and years of knowledge, and you can't just pick that up.
No, that's right. I guess anyone that's got a business, here's the thing, when we think about skill and behaviours, the patterns or the things that we do as humans, skills we can teach. If you've got the right go-about attitude, which you've always had, it was just a no-brainer to go, hey, look, you've already done most of this course, you've been around us the whole time. Why don't we teach you from the scratch and from the start and give you the right assistance to get there. So you're doing like your Cert 4 in accounting at TAFE. You're ticking off those boxes. In a few more years' time, really, you're going to be a fully qualified, pledged accountant.
Soon.
Yeah.
And I said I never wanted to be, but I'll have the piece of paper to say, yes, I am.
Are you right for the personality to disappear and go?
Oh, I don't know.
No, that's not true. Not all accountants are boring. But if you think about skill and behaviour, if you were afraid of heights, right? Now, a trained instructor can train you how to jump out of an aeroplane and how to do it safe. They can give you that skill, they can teach you right through it, and you can learn everything about it. But the reality is, if you have that fear of heights, you're never going to jump out of the plane.
Of course not.
Right? So that's the same thing with attitude, and if someone's got the wrong attitude, you can't, it's going to be so hard to change that.
Yeah.
But if someone's got the right attitude, right aptitude, and they want to apply themselves, they're always going to flourish. I think that's so important. But yeah, I think we've talked about a lot of things.
We have, yeah.
Is there anything that you want to ask me, anything you want to add to?
It's just been a great 7.5 years, and looking forward to the next 7.5.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm part of the furniture. It's just very hard to get the removalist out on this one.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on board. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. That's true because there's been a few times where we've had our Christmas parties and there's maybe a few too many drinks and I get very teary and cry after a few. Not like one of those annoying ones though, but yeah, but it's been an absolute pleasure having you on board and being part of the team. And I'm really excited for you in this new role and stepping up and being the accountant you never dreamed to be of.
Yay, thank you.
All right, thanks guys. Hey, if you've got any questions of Belinda, please feel free to reach out, get in touch. Hopefully there's some really good lessons that you can apply in your own business, but mostly it's great to be able to put you on camera and let everyone know formally who you are. All right, thanks guys, see you later.
Bye.